It says it's connected.
I don't have a phone or anything to check it. Does it say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Village of Alexandria Bay regular board meeting of May 9th, 2023. Could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Caputo.
Here.
Trustee Demo.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fulmer.
Here. Mayor Jarvis is not joining us tonight. He had a conflict, so we are going to proceed as best we can without him. So, under public concerns, my first name under public concerns is Mr. Tulloch to talk about Christmas in July.
Boy, when you talk about a concern, you then bring up my name. Okay, well, what we're proposing...
Well, let's change that. He's not a public concern.
I'm not a public concern
he's
personally, unless you know me. Then they'll all vouch for that.
Well, I don't. Let's call it a public idea.
Public ideas, thank you. I ran it by the chamber last night, and we, the River Santa Committee, would like to propose a Christmas in July, regular good old-fashioned Christmas parade, and July 29th. And we think a lot of people we've talked to are like, you know, the idea of a Christmas parade where we're not cold. Clayton used to do it years ago, and successfully. They've got a great winter thing. We can't compete in the winter. We can have a winter event with River Santa, but we can't, you know, you don't want to be one of 5 or 10 parades. But we can do it in July, and we think we'll get a great turnout. We think it's family-oriented. It's a good way to market aggressively, starting with Memorial Day weekend, that we're going to have this event. And if we can say we're going to have it, then we'll find a way to make it happen. I mean,
Okay.
kind of like put the chicken before the egg, but it's the way it is. You know, at this late moment, we've got a couple months to make it work, but I think most people who have floats, they'd be happy to break them out for a nice summer event. So we're kind of asking for your blessing. We don't know how to do it. Again, have to get a committee together. We've got to talk to fire and police and whatever. But if we have your blessing, we're going to just pull the trigger and say, we're doing it. Here it is. Here's the date. And we'll figure it out as we go.
Molly, are you okay with July 29th?
There's nothing on the calendar at this point for that date.
Do you have a tentative time?
No, that's one of these things where
Work it out later.
we're all ears. If somebody said we should do it, you know, late afternoon, everybody likes the idea of lights, and in the summer it doesn't get dark until 9:30 that time of year, so you certainly can't do that. The little ones are gone, they're already asleep. So it would probably have to be an earlier thing, but, you know, we don't want to conflict with merchants, we want to add to the merchants, bring in business, bring in families.
Okay.
I talked to a couple storekeepers today, and they were all excited. They've already started thinking how they're going to decorate their facade, so.
I love that thing. I
You
talked to
got
Tommy
support.
Petrie, and he's all fired up. He's got the hay wagon out back already. So, any questions for me? Like, I mean, this is shooting from the hip.
Yeah, the 22nd.
We think it'll increase the exposure for the event come winter. If we do this in the summer, a lot of people don't even know we do the winter event.
So you know if we say yes, you're it.
I'm not it. I personally know Santa.
You'll get a hook, you'll get a group.
What?
Oh, go ahead, do yours first.
The Legion is doing a Santa things 2 weekends in a row.
Only doesn't work because we cannot do it for other reasons on the 22nd. So, you know, for us, it's 29th and actually 22nd is Betterment as well.
Yep.
So that,
Too many activities.
if
That's
we
Betterment
could
weekend.
make the 22nd work for us, there's reasons it won't, but, you know, if driven to it, we can try to make it work, because then you've got a daytime, the Betterment, a nighttime, or evening time, or whatever you want to call it. So it's in play.
You prefer July 29th?
Yeah, we've got multiple reasons that it needed to be them.
There,
That's what phone calls are for, that's what. Mhm.
And someone's gotta cover you under insurance. You have to have a liability insurance, $1 million policy under village rules, so.
Which, just like River Santa, we were able to get, actually the town, I think, picked it up.
Okay.
The chamber got the town to pick it up.
Because that has to go in with a permit, it's your parade permit, that's
Yeah.
what they require. But otherwise, that's, I think, the only other stipulation that we have at this time.
Anybody
Okay,
else have any
well-
questions?
Well, I mean, what we'll do is, how do I stay in touch with you about trying to nail down our date, whether we can have your blessing?
just call me.
Well, I'm good with the 29th.
Yeah, I'm
You've
good
got
with
other,
I
so many
understand
other
why it would
functions.
be cool to do it all on that one day. I also understand what the Legion one is, and that it would be quite different from what we're doing, so I don't know.
And then if you have betterment, people are
Santa
gonna be
could
spread
just-
out.
Be the village of the damned here, I mean, we could just be known for Santa year round.
Okay.
If we can move it to the 22nd, I understand that could be preferential.
I'm good with the 29th. Okay, can I have a motion
I'll
to
make a
have a
motion, go ahead.
Christmas in July, including a Christmas parade on July 29th?
I make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. No concerns.
Okay?
Okay, any other public concerns?
Am I on the agenda?
You are, yes,
Yes.
you're number 4.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. I have Hearts for Youth correspondence. Dear Village Board, Hearts for Youth would like permission to use the golf course from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for the month of July on Mondays and Fridays for 6 sessions on the following dates: 7, 10, 14, 17, not on 7/21, which is Betterment, 7/24, and 7/28. Robin Martin will be leading the participants. Any questions or concerns about that?
That's the standard golf lesson activity that we do every year, so.
I need a motion to allow Hearts for Youth to do that on those dates.
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes of March 11th, 2023 regular meeting and emergency meeting April 13th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from April 11th and April 13th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bills, I need a motion to approve abstract number 11 as presented.
I'll make a motion.
The heads of the departments should be signing off on this before the trustees get them. That's my only thing. Now you can all in favor.
Okay. Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll add that to the minutes. Trustee reports. Sandy, you want to go first?
Sure, Thompson Park, you might be able to update me. As of this morning, the ice arena was down, but the parks were still there. But the park is looking great. It's been mowed, in good shape, ready for the kids, lots of new equipment. I know you talked about, and this is just me off the head, but since you're here, I'm gonna bring it up. 'Cause I know you talked about last year, the land was unlevel for the skating rink, and when you know, the water had to be 6 inches higher than the other. Well, would it be possible to put that up at the pavilion? Because I just got thinking about it when I was up at the pavilion, I thought, this is so beautiful.
So the pavilion is actually crowned, so.
So that wouldn't work
You
either.
would have only like maybe 2 inches versus, we made it work with what we had.
Yeah. We talked about putting,
So we are using some more funds for that. The programs for the school year are gonna end mid-May because the kids are busy ending school and going here and everywhere, and then we'll pick back up with those programs for the summer with golf and swimming and all sorts of stuff. So they've got lots of things planned. The library thanks the village for their support and their funding. I'm sure they've cashed their check by now. Their board meeting is tomorrow night, and what they're gonna be talking about is removing the beds, the garden beds over here, and along with Hearts for Youth, they're going to try to put in raised beds with screens around it, so the deer don't eat anything and the bunnies don't hop through and all that fun stuff, because this last year that garden was destroyed with, beetles, the deer, the bunnies. Every day there are little bunnies out there just chewing away, so they're gonna try a raised bed with a screen, very large raised bed. They're also planning their silent auction for the middle of August. When the book sale goes down, the silent auction will be going up. Gordon Court, everything seems to be fine over there. They are having all sorts of activities, which I think Christy has been to some things over. Have you been to Gordon Court? Yeah. But those people have all sorts of things going on. Do we want to do that golf course stuff now or wait? You mean that
I have her on there.
Shoot, Melissa's things are on later.
Okay. So that's the end of mine.
Okay, what I will cover is Upper Drain Street dock is progressing. We currently have 3 dock attendants, looking for 1 or 2 more, if anybody knows, anybody looking for work this summer. We have 1 lifeguard, so we really need lifeguards, so we can open the beach safely. That's all I have for that. The other thing that I was just suggested that I mention to people in general in the village is that no barges are permitted at either one of the village docks. If anybody has any questions, we can talk about that later, but with the 2 village docks having been just redone, it presents possibility of damage that we just don't want to look at. Okay, DPW report. Trash pickup on islands has begun. Concrete on Anthony Street driveway was poured from a water shutoff that we had to dig. Installation of a storm drain culvert and concrete slab at Dive Park. Stone has been installed down on Holland Street boat ramp. Brush pickup is ongoing. They are cold patching. Mowing is every day. 2 water shutoff valves that had broken have been dug and fixed. Beach permit has been filled out and is ready for submittal. Concrete on the 2 bulkheads down on Sisson Street will be poured either Thursday or Friday, depending on the availability of trucks. As Jared told me, they're doing a lot of work in Clayton, so when they have time from that to do us, at the latest it would be on Monday. And the grinding of Walton Street has begun in preparation for blacktop. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Police report. The police department had 22 complaints, 0 arrests, 0 VNT tickets issued, 5 warnings, 1 parking ticket and 2 warnings, 15 building checks. Respectfully, Officer in Charge Josh David. Okay. Zoning. You are next, Mr. Schimmel.
Since the last village board meeting, the ZBA has met. There was a request for an oversized sign variance. They're asking for a 40 square foot variance. The ZBA came up and they granted a 15-foot oversized variance for the sign on Bethune Street. Planning board will be meeting the first Wednesday in June. We're going to have 2 site plan reviews. One of them deals with 18 and 20 Sisson Street. They want to take the restaurants and convert them over into apartments down there. Travesties. I see everybody's got a look in there.
You were looking up and going.
And the other site plan review, JP Marine needs a site plan review for their sign. They've submitted the paperwork, both of them have. Both projects need to go to the county planning board because they're within 500 foot of a state road with that. So the county will be dealing with that the end of this month. And then once we get the reports back, the planning board can go ahead and do reviews. So I believe the comp plan committee may be meeting next Wednesday. It kind of depends on some grievance day in the various towns and stuff. with some of our members and stuff, but, comp plan is coming along. It may seem like we're taking baby steps. Hopefully we can do without too many problems when we present it to the public with it, so. That's all that I have unless there's some questions.
No, but I will announce for leave that the planning and zoning boards are looking for a secretary, if anybody knows anybody that is interested. Okay, old business, Ready and Streetscape project. Gregor.
Ready projects, okay, I don't have any updates on the streetscape side, but on the Ready projects, as you mentioned, Judy, the permanent dock sections are mainly in place now. They are working on the one section towards, inland, and they have to do some customizing on that, but that should be, installed this week. The other things they are working on at the wharf, they're actually starting to move back out of the site. So as they move out of the site, they've removed the old sidewalk and they've prepped for the new sidewalk. New sidewalk is scheduled for this coming Monday. So that's a good sign that restoration will follow that. They've got some topsoil down and be able to seed the site and start finishing up some of those final items. A couple of the other items, lift is scheduled for install. It may start next week. Trying to think of the other items that are left down there.
How are they doing with riprap around that building?
Good, riprap's all in place at the water plant.
I'll have to take a look.
They're actually working on grading. I don't know if anybody's driven down to take a look at that. They're doing some of the finished grading in the parking area. And after that, they'll be paving. That will be mainly done. The only thing that's remaining is some painting at the water treatment plant.
When's the paving?
Paving should be in the next week or two, as long as they can have a paver on site.
It is gonna be really busy next week or two. Streetscape, there are three, I think we're just about wrapped Holland Street. Oh, what's it? A railing, put sand there. I'm not sure what Holland Street needs yet, and we worked out the issue about the sidewalk here in front of the, building. That's been taken care of by the DPW. So I don't know any more than that about streetscape. Pickleball courts?
Gonna table discussion.
Okay. Riverfest,
Here you go.
Mr. Russell.
Many of you probably know Pete Whitmore. He's normally run this event for years. He's finally retired. I've worked alongside him since 2014. Now get it all coordinated. I want to thank the village for moving the date. I know it's a little early. The school isn't out, but the powers that be with the commander, the new commander, you know, his changes, whatever. So, we had the recon a couple weeks ago. Thank you, Ms. Brad, that you offered to us come to the village board meeting, but, it was too soon, and we just wanted to take a look at it. Everything looked good. We talked to all the parties that we need to talk to, the folks, stuff like that, whatever. And, everybody's in track with everything normal. Like bringing the extra parties down here by the port stuff to assist, stuff like that, whatever. My main concern that I was asked to ask about down here when they set up, FMWR, was for the Jersey area. I'm not sure if DPW is gonna be here or not, but they said that they normally do this set up every year at an angle to stop any unexpected thing happening. To be you know, the way the world is today, you just don't know. So, that Jersey barrier was always down here at the end of the street, kind of blocking the driveway, whatever, to stop any unwelcome accidents, whatever. And, then we had the Jersey barriers up by the pavilion area. There were like, I think it was 4 or 5 of them. We had them along the park, and then a couple in between the hospital and the entrance into the pavilion. And then we had the normal wooden barriers after that. If we could have those again, we would like that. When I was down there looking at the pavilion there, I've already been talking with Gregor, so I got a little jump because I met him. I was chasing him around. I thought he was a hospital attendant or something, but here we are now. So, he told me that most of the stuff already been moved or whatever, but everybody knows Riverfest, we take that whole area. The pavilion we use from one end to the other, where a lot of the equipment and, materials that they're using is staged, that last year when they had the stuff they put in the sidewalk, we worked around that, because it's gonna get moved or whatever.
What is the date on this?
June 8th.
June 8th, okay.
We were shooting for June 9th, but because there was a wedding on Boat Castle, we had to request from you for the day early. So hopefully we can have that all cleaned out, and I'll keep checking whatever, and, Greg gave me his, number so I can talk with him, and we can go from there. We use that whole parking lot area, the whole bit, whatever. I noticed that the grass area behind, sometimes before drone entities come down and set up, to be able to provide information for the soldiers, whatever, I noticed it was all fenced off and kind of dug up a little bit, you probably put it in the sidewalk.
That's where the sidewalks.
Yeah, the
being
whole
installed.
bit.
Yep.
Will that be cleared out by then, or should we just disregard using that behind the pavilion? I noticed it's blocked off from the back steps of the pavilion.
Will that all be done by then?
Yeah, I anticipate that being open by then.
Okay.
Yep. Sidewalk, like I said, is gonna be installed next week, and they'll start restoration right after.
And we do know that we will stay off the sidewalk, no dumpsters, no nothing, the whole bit, that's a lot of money, the whole bit, so we understand, we've already been through that, so I give my assurance again to the village that we will not do anything to distract that, okay? So along the area, the Jersey areas, we would be coming down the late morning, early afternoon, the day before the stage. You know, the stuff down here for the docks with FMWR would be using, and of course the trailers I'd be using up there with the grills and everything. Trying to think. Good news, because I know a big concern, I know it's probably for your businesses especially, was because of it being early, increase the activity and attendance, you know, because soldiers don't mind paying for a day off, especially with their family. So you can spread that to the businesses for me, and that's gonna make them happy. So instead of having stragglers, they'll probably have full places again. Probably be mad because a couple of them got unruly, but don't worry, we'll have everything down here to take care of that. I know the village has been through this enough, they know where to go. So, my main concern is that you all make money, and we can continue this great partnership throughout.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's about everything I've got covered. That was the main problems based on the, recall, whatever, unless you have any questions of me.
Any questions?
Is that the day, Brian, that, is it the fire department that helps with that traffic control that I got stuck in for an hour? Was that the day that you were out directing?
No, there was a parade.
Yeah, that's what it was, it was
Did
a parade.
some
Shriners, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Fire
the
department
Shriners.
just stands by at the station and has the
Okay.
ambulance ready to roll, so we don't
Okay.
have a problem with it, it's a good day.
I do have local area and the state police, whatever like that, I know they come through with their dogs checking before we even step around and all that, even while we're there, so that's good.
They'll be shuttling them from up here again?
Yes,
Okay.
but they won't shuttle from Drum to here,
Okay.
so that's the only thing, that there might be increased traffic and or parking, you know, we're trying to keep, you know, them know, hey, don't be impeding on these people, please. They're giving you a good time.
We're looking
So
forward
just
to
thank
it.
you for it. And the other thing was on the pavilion, the tables. The tables are up there, I think, are the same amount as last time. That's gonna stay up there.
Mhm.
Now, if the grass area is not ready, just in case something does happen, are we allowed to move them tables from the grass up there? And we'll put them back, of course, if we need to, or I should just plan on bringing extra tables and chairs.
You're using that for your event, they're allowed to do, as long as you put them back, so we have no problem. You have to leave the places how you found it, how's that?
Well, that's what we try to do,
Yep.
blow clean, sweep, mops, the whole bit, whatever, so we don't get no kickback.
Yep.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right, we're gonna move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, chamber events. We have these, but I don't know that are you here representing the chamber and the event list, Cindy, of what's the old list, the new list?
Technically, but.
was there a discussion with Steve with having to go over
Well,
what's what?
I called Ashley and Lauren, so I have a master list now.
Okay.
So I don't know if we wanna table that, but there's a definite definition now with, we will understand what is a chamber event versus what is a, community event. For example, Halloween's a community event, but I have a list of all that, so.
So what if we discuss it further? Yep. Okay, right. Do I need a motion to table that? Could I have a motion to table Chamber of Commerce event, please?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it. Do we need a motion about Riverfest?
Not with Riverfest, but the pickleball courts we tabled.
Okay. Could I have a motion to pickle the,
I make a motion to tickle the pickleball. Tickle the pickleball.
I am pickled about pickleball, it's enough. Could I have a motion to table?
I make a motion.
Okay, we're there. We got it. All in favor? Aye. All right. Okay, water withdrawal resolution update. I have 3 water withdrawal resolutions that we need to approve. These are needed to be done today so we can keep going for our water withdrawal permit with the DEC. Mr. Burrows.
Yeah, there's actually one to be approved tonight, but in a nutshell, the village provides abundant potable water to many communities outside the village. It provides to 5 water districts in the town of Alexandria, 1 in Orleans, 1 in Clayton, and we also know now that it also provides water to the town of Theresa Water District.
Right.
Water withdrawal permits have been heavily regulated, a number of changes. The village has already done an awful lot of work in that regard. Since the last month, a few things have been accomplished. Certificates. The town of Orleans, town of Clayton, and town of Theresa have executed certificates that those districts were properly formed. Town of Alexandria has not done that yet. I gave the proposed document to their town attorney, who's reviewing it. He's got to review it for 5 districts, so he's on that right now. And
He did return phone calls and emails?
Oh, yeah, oh, no, he's been very responsive, and today he emailed me and confirmed he's gonna be working on that.
Okay.
Secondly, the town of Theresa, the town of Orleans, town of Clayton have also certified that the official maps are accurate for the districts. I've given a proposed letter to the attorney of the town of Alexandria. He's gonna be reviewing it. I suspect we'll be all set on that too. Now, in addition to that, if you think that you've amended the intermunicipal agreements with different communities, what the village wasn't aware of a couple of months ago was that the town of Theresa has a water district that's hooked onto one of the town of Alexandria's districts, the Redwood District. There's an intermunicipal agreement between the towns of Theresa and Alexandria. I've looked at that IMA. One requirement that the New York State DEC has is because that water is being provided by the village of Alexandria, we're required to be a signatory to that agreement. We've got to sign on the dotted line, so to speak. What I've done is I've prepared the proposed amendment to that IMA. The village has a copy of that. I've also delivered a copy to the town of Theresa and the town of Alexandria, to the attorneys. I've also, because my office represents the town of Theresa, we've also prepared the resolution for the town board of Theresa to review and approve the IMA, which what it does is it simply includes the village as a signatory and keeps you in the system. I expect the town board of Theresa will review and approve that this week. The same information has been provided to the attorney of the town of Alexandria, and again, he emailed me this morning, and I suspect you're going to do the same process in the town of Alexandria. What the village could do this evening is this. You have the proposed amendment to the intermunicipal agreement, and again, essentially what it does is it recites the background of what's been going on here, and it says that the village is a signatory and is a party, and the village approves providing that water to the town of Alexandria that also flows to Theresa. And in doing that, there should be one resolution that you've received, and the one resolution would be for the village board to consider adopting. which would authorize the mayor to execute that amendment to the IMA.
Okay, so this resolution that you need authorized is approving intermunicipal agreement with the towns of Alexandria and Teresa.
Yes, that's the one that we need to, I'd ask the board to consider.
Okay, we don't need to do anything with these?
The other ones, what I provided just were copies of what's already been prepared and submitted to the other towns.
And these will be later?
Yep.
Okay, so
So just that one.
could I have a motion to approve the resolution approving intermunicipal agreement between towns of Alexandria and Teresa? I'll make the motion.
You second it?
You're a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. No. And the only reason why I say no is because I haven't had a chance to read it. And I don't wanna say yes to something I haven't had a chance to see. I know we need to move ahead, but you got your 2-1, so you got your.
We can't move forward.
Well, it's fine, I mean, it doesn't pass this evening, that's not a huge
I
problem.
know,
because-
but we've been working on our water withdrawal permit for 3 years.
Well, since 2014.
Oh, well, there you go, my numbers are off.
And the DEC is coming
Yeah,
on.
someday, if we don't get it together, we're not gonna have water.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I want to, point out too that, to understand, even if the village approves that this evening, it's not a done deal because we've got the town board of Teresa approve it, gotta have the town board of Alexandria.
when will
approve
they
it.
maybe do that?
Teresa's got the information now, I suspect this week it's gonna be considered. Again, the email I've got from the attorney of the town of Alexandria this morning, it was that he was gonna be working, so I've got no reason to think that they won't do the same thing, approve it.
Do we need a special meeting, or can this wait till next month?
It's up to the pleasure of the village board. What you can do is this, rather than a special meeting, which you typically call 72 hours notice, and you have the publication requirements, you get expensive. What you could do, if the board wanted to, you could, at the conclusion of tonight's meeting, you could adjourn it to another date and time, if you're comfortable with that, to take this up further.
Is there a date and time that you would have sooner rather than later to be able to do this? Has it been in everybody's bin?
I don't put them in the bins. I
I was
left
gonna say-
messages out stating that they would be in the office, that anyone can.
To your village email address. Okay, so can we table this a little? If she,
You don't have to
Discuss
table,
it after,
you could move
we'll
on.
just adjourn and then we'll
you
do
can
it
move on
another
to
day and
other
we'll work it
matters.
out.
If you wish to take it up later on this meeting, you can.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on with that. So we're going to table that for now. New business. I need a motion to approve pay app number 8 DC Building Systems Inc. for $280,630 and S&L Electric for $130,387.50 and change order number 2 with DC Builders, and this is all for the READY program.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, you can.
I
Yep.
think I'm-
No, you don't have to say it. You're welcome.
No, I don't know what's going on there.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good evening, thank you.
Okay, could I have a motion, next on the list is the tax warrant that we need to sign and send to the county, correct, Molly?
Correct. That's so, I advertise it in the paper when our collection dates will be, when we'll stop collecting, et cetera, the charges and everything is attached to it.
And the tax warrant is for $1,155,110.45. So I have a motion, please. 47 cents, sorry.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, put that there.
We need a motion to hire the following people. Marcus Flynn, Larry Breer, Ron Cole for seasonal recreational assistants at $15 per hour. Hire Melissa Breer, Janet Bartlett, and Cora Trayer as seasonal recreational assistants, clubhouse at $15 per hour. hired Nathaniel Boak and Kirsten Travels as dock attendants at $14.20 per hour, and Donald Sanford as lifeguard at $16 per hour.
I'll make the motion.
Did I forget one?
Oh, did he say that?
No. She's what?
I thought we were giving her that.
We're not changing anything until after the budget year, first.
Okay, so I need a motion for what I just read.
Sorry, may I interject? You had one more person, correct? You
Oh, we
interviewed
just
today.
interviewed today Stephen
Madison?
Madison, and he's a dock attendant. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Mr. Cantwell, you're number 4.
All right.
Sorry to make you wait.
No worries, but I can be excused after, right?
Thanks, Gregor.
You gotta stay with Doug, as long as Doug stays, you
boy.
stay with that
All
man.
right.
Protect River Salem.
Good evening, Bobby Campbell, here representing the Thousand Island Charity Poker Run.
Mhm.
It's that time of year again where I'm here to officially ask for the use of the dock. And it is July 15th, Saturday, July 15th. We typically arrive somewhere around, we ask for noon to 2. We typically start arriving around 11:30, quarter to 12, so I think in past years, you have authorized us in your attendance to start. They let people know in the morning.
Right, we block off the dock with
yeah,
yellow
and
tape.
it worked wonderfully. Your staff has done a tremendous job. I know Judy, you worked with me multiple times on the dock and all, but, so with that said, then, also the pavilion, noon to 2. The evening before, Party Rentals typically sets up the tables and chairs later in the afternoon, early evening on Friday. Just the tables and chairs are there, you know, we get there and we move them back to where they were. Some of them get moved, but it's all good, it all works out. And we remove all the garbage and all the tables and everything's gone before we're out of there. So,
Who's doing your catering?
same thing, Dinosaur Barbecue, yes.
Right.
Yes, Dinosaur does a great job. We've, and Brian's worked with us too and looked at it, it's 600 people within 2 hours, or 600, through the day. So Dinosaur has they come right in and bang and they're out. So, but yeah, we would love to do it local if it was, not that it may not be in the future, but at the current time,
You tried one year, I
we
remember.
did, yeah, and again, Brian was one that worked with us to take a look at it. So, yeah, so officially here for the ask for that, July 15th. We have, we understand the no rafting and JPs, are going the whole time, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're very respectful of not closing anybody off, and we've never had a problem yet. And I believe, Mr. Shavsky has also allowed us some spots on his wall there on the corner as well. And that's usually our safety boats, fire boats, stuff like that, which, we're blessed with the fleet of safety and fire EMS that we have in this, we get accolades every year of our EMS and safety plan from all the other runs and the poker runners, so. And I know that, Alexandria Bay Fire participates with us as well, and, we do, thank them, and all the other departments up and down with a nice contribution, from at the end.
We enjoy having you.
We appreciate it very much, and we appreciate the partnership, for the number of years.
Are you gonna have enough ice cream?
Hopefully.
That one year, oh Lord, right?
Didn't you run out of ice cream one year?
The year before, coming down the hill, they were.
That was a rumor going
Oh, look at that, you ran out of ice cream.
No, didn't actually
It sounds good.
Yeah.
A lot of, so Caballeros gets a group that goes there,
Yeah.
not everybody goes up to our lunch, and then there are other people that don't like barbecue, they do filter into the community and go to the other restaurants. Not a ton, but, our timing has been pretty good. Dinosaur gets everybody through in about 45 minutes, and we usually have 45 to an hour, and people are walking around downtown. We hold them purposely, like we don't leave. Quarter to 2, we fire up and we move out.
We may need to have you put up a sign that says, "We still have ice cream."
Plenty of ice cream.
No, just, "We still have," you have to make it look like you're running out. We
One
still have.
thing that we did have last year, we had a little pop-up tent, near Mrs. Coleman's on the left side, going for the dock. Just t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that, and there was a little snafu, nothing that we.
Put it right in front of the bathroom building this year?
Near that, Mrs. Coleman also says that, and I believe she said, had no problem with us setting up there, and I believe that, your board, the mayor mentioned that it was discussed and just, it's okay, it's about an hour, they set up, and it's just t-shirts and sweatshirts, and then they shut right down.
Could you please ask permission right now that you could do that again? Because that was the thing that some merchants didn't realize you were gonna be selling stuff, so
Okay.
just ask permission.
Sure, yeah, that's why I brought it up, we're
Okay.
definitely asking permission too, and if we don't have permission, we will not. So that we will clearly respect the wishes, if it is an issue and if it is a problem. In all honesty, I wanna say there might have been 20 shirts sold and maybe a couple of sweatshirts, it wasn't a lot,
Right.
but, yeah, so. But yeah, so officially, we would ask or request if we could do that as well.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Anybody else? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the Thousand Islands Charity Poker Run on Saturday, July 15th, and to allow them to have a pop-up tent to sell t-shirts if they desire?
I'll make that motion.
I'm liking it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All approved.
Thank you very much,
You're
again,
welcome.
appreciate the partnership, and whatever, if something needs to change.
It's always fun.
Something needs to change, or we need to modify, just let us know, we'll absolutely do that. We know that we're guests here in your community, so,
And we appreciate it.
thank you.
It is fun. People do walk
It's
around
fun.
and look at the
Yeah,
boat.
really good, it's fun. Yeah. You, not only people, Phil Clayton, but there's a lot of people who migrate here. There's a contingent of, Donzie Owners Group, almost like a Corvette Owners Group or whatever, and you have 40 or almost 40 of them are at Bonnie Castle. They're already signed up.
Nice.
Their group comes the same weekend to take in the show. But we also place people down there as well, so.
It's good for the village.
Yeah, VRBOs, they'll be full. You know, we have a bunch of them down there, but most of them are already full anyway, so, yeah.
Okay,
Good.
we're good.
Excellent, thank you very much.
You're welcome, and you can't leave till Doug leaves.
Doug, you're on your own.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. I thought we'd go together.
Okay, next is Small Fry Fishing Derby. I have a letter from Pat Snyder. Honorable board members and mayor, Rotary Club of Alexandria Bay is once again requesting use of Upper Bay Village Dock for our Small Fry Fishing Derby on Saturday, July 17th from 8 a.m. till noon. Thank you in advance for your consideration in this matter. Respectfully, Pat Snyder. And then I have another letter, same thing, from Brian Willett. So, any questions or concerns about the Small Fry Fishing Derby, which is always well attended?
Will the docks be done, I guess is the concern of the second letter, we wanted to address
Yes.
to see if the docks would, if it will.
The way it's looking right now, God willing, yes. Yeah, and no snow. It'll be done. Everything is on track for
They're saying by Memorial Day. we
Memorial
should
Day
have
weekend.
Everything,
What's the
everything
date,
should be
Brian?
done.
June 17th.
June 17th.
Yeah, June 17th. Okay, one letter says 8 to noon, the other one says 8:30 to 12:30. Which do you prefer?
8 to 12:30.
Early in 8 to 12:30?
That's a good save.
8 to 12:30. Okay, can I have a motion to, allow Rotary Club of Alexandria Bay to have a small fry fishing derby on June 17th from 8 until 12:30?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
I apologize in my unexpert work. I did not put in that the chamber requests for, I did not finish that apparently. They're asking to move the chess, not pickleball, chess, over to the chamber lawn. That's part of this also.
Well, that's next.
Yes,
the
yeah,
next
but
letter.
I missed,
Oh, I
I
see.
missed it in there.
Yeah. All right, the next thing on
I
our
didn't
list.
finish it.
Okay, so this is, oh, and that's on there. Okay, then we have a letter from the Rotary Club of Alexandria Bay asking for permission to put the shuffleboard, chess set, and cornhole set up at the old chamber building. So everybody has your drawing, and I think that what we are willing to approve tonight is putting those three things up there, because we haven't had enough time and discussion to talk about everything else, but I believe we're all in agreement with putting them where you have one here. Do you have any questions?
No. I think it's a great idea. It'll be out of the sun, you've got some shade there. I think it's a much better location.
Say it again? Okay. Cindy, you okay? Any questions?
It's gonna be sad not seeing the kids on that corner.
Yeah.
So I don't know, are you guys gonna have something to tell people that have been on that corner forever, to direct them up the river walk, or, I don't know. I don't know if Cavaliers will let you put anything there, but we need like a town crier to direct those kids back up to that spot. That's my only, I can't say it's a worry or a concern, it's just, you know, a thought that, will people know where that was?
Everybody's so used to it being on the corner.
Yeah.
When it's not there, you know, who's gonna tell them where it is?
Right, how are they gonna know where it went? It's just, it's a hypothetical question. How, like, I've come here for the last 3 years and I've taken my kids there, how am I gonna know that moved? You know, 'cause they're gonna say, where did that go? They're gonna be looking for those giant chessmen, and they're gonna say, where did that go? And the shuffleboard. So I don't know if there's a way to somehow, maybe Pete will let you do something to, like a little sign or
Can we put
something.
something, would the village allow us to put something at the beginning of Riverwalk? This is all kind of trying to entail to try to push and promote Riverwalk.
Right,
The entrance, to clean it all up, and then the first thing they get to is, boom, they have that, and then they can go down the hill and they have the river to enjoy and things. That's kind of the whole overall,
Yeah.
concept. Maybe we'd start off by putting, if the village would allow us to put a sign at the beginning of Riverwalk, right up of.
that's a good idea.
Right
It's too
there,
bad we can't
Rotary
move
Corners
that
that moved
kiosk
up by
down
6 feet.
there. I think it's in the ground. I don't think that
Yeah, I
it's a
think it's
movable
cemented.
thing.
I don't think it's
But if
movable.
that kiosk is there, that would be a perfect type of thing that could go down there and say the things are up that way.
Sandwich board, maybe,
Oh, that's a good idea.
at the beginning of Riverwalk?
Another sandwich board on the sidewalk is not appealing to me.
Well,
Possibly,
if they up against the
trip
building.
over.
could possibly have Bill Gill make something or someone,
Yeah, something.
something saying chess, you know, et cetera, moved.
Rotary.
We have moved, you know, Rotary or something.
Maybe we can get a hold of
One of
the
the-
resorts and see if they'll allow us to pin it on the side of the fence
Mhm.
right there.
There you go.
Get some permission.
One of the-
We could definitely work on that.
Okay.
One of the biggest questions that we get down on Rotary Corner when we're down there selling raffle tickets is, where's the pavilion? We got people walking up and down the street,
Sure.
they have no idea where the pavilion is. So, some kind of signage or,
At least those 3 sets and also a shed at the same time?
Yes, we need to put a shed for all the, accessories, that go with it, so when it's, you know, bad weather or at the end of the night, or, but those guys will go down. These will be permanent, these are gonna be concrete and base, fixtures, they're not gonna be easily moved, so that's why we're asking for.
Right, it's all gonna be to the
The
right,
shed has to go through Lee.
okay?
They put a shed there, it has to, you know, it has to give them dimensions and whatever.
Correct, we'll have to
Put
get
that,
this
yeah.
on and,
Yeah, that just has to be done
permit,
separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
take.
we have not purchased that yet,
Okay.
but,
Yep.
yeah, we do, there's a permit. to
Okay.
do that, yeah.
Just so,
and we could probably even stake out each one of the games so that people could look at it and see where they are. Sometimes it's easier to look at something stated out on the ground than it is to get it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, so I'd be more than happy to answer any questions from the, board.
Any questions?
Meet you down there to make sure that you we just kinda like to make sure we have a land use agreement and the blessing of the village. We'd love to partner and with the other organizations with this, two other community organizations that are very interested in supporting this, as in, the benches and pots and flower pots and shrubs and things, and promoting the beginning of Riverwalk, which is, to be honest with you, an atrocity. It's absolutely terrible, I don't wanna go in there and do anything without anybody's blessing, so, we would love to partner up with you guys and to hear your vision and, make it happen.
Okay, I have a motion to be able to do this.
I'll make the motion to allow.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay?
Thank you.
Done. I know, Jarrett and I have talked about, after talking with the ladies of the, I can never remember the name.
Alexandria Bay Community Improvement Association.
Garden group. And we've talked about somehow, painting down somewhere by, the dive park, now that they finally understand that we cannot move the dive park. Somehow marking on the road, Riverwalk going across there and then down and connecting to the Riverwalk along the river, so that'll be done too. Okay? Got
How
it?
soon are they gonna do this?
I'll start ripping the tire tomorrow, you want?
Okay.
Very soon,
Okay.
we've got a meeting tomorrow, we're supporting everybody at the, ABCIA at Cavalarios, but our next meeting will be on the 17th, and we'll, get the, public approval and, address this issue.
Yeah, I know. We're going over tomorrow. Did you hear about that? The ABCIA, did I get it right?
ABCIA.
I gotta work on that. ABCIA is having a function at Cavalarios tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Can you buy one of my pieces of art?
Well, last night we had a New York Forward meeting, just to give everybody what we're talking about. It was right after the chamber meeting, so it was great. We had a bunch of, new people that weren't here the first meeting, and the meeting went very well. We had people that are interested in redoing their facades. We had people that want to build a story up. A lot of private business, they call them stakeholders, and June 12th, again, publicize that for people to come in and bring their ideas of what they'd like to see. You know, what would you do with $4.5 million if you got it? So that's where we were. We have a list of things that the village would be interested in doing, and the list got longer and longer last night after Hartley, the woman who made the presentation, kept saying, dream big, dream big. So we want to build a pirate ship, you know, splash pads. She gave us examples of other towns and villages that have gotten this money, either 10 million or 4.5, and a splash pad is in just about every one of them if you look at it. So that was exciting, and Doug had an idea where I have literally, Cindy and I talked about it, we see people park up at the corner on Church in the bank parking lot and then stand funny, however they can make it work so they can have their picture taken with the arch. And instead of having, I've seen people stand in the middle of the street trying to take pictures. So we talked about having, if we get a new bathroom building down at Upper James, possibly having somebody draw a mural of an arch with a ship, a fish. What else did you say? Oh, a castle, Village of Alexandria. The whole scene of the Village of Alexandria.
Postcard picture.
Postcard picture of the village with the chamber, email address or website, same thing for the village, and a bench where everybody can sit and have their picture taken, because as we talked last night, we want people to take that picture and take it home and show it to 10 people who may say, oh, I want to go to Alex Bay, and then
So they're posting it on
correspond,
Facebook,
yeah, just,
and everybody has an average of 400 some friends. One post, I can post one picture that'll be seen 20,000 times.
so we want some of those
Free
people.
advertising.
But it was a
Except
really,
you're special.
What's that?
You have more friends than we do. I got one more than you. I got one friend, he's got none.
It went really well last night, and there was a lot of interest, and, you know, we're gonna meet again, like I said, in June and start pulling it together. We think an application has to be put in sometime probably October. So that's that. But anyway, moving along. Next on my list is Cavalaria Steakhouse, 26 Church Street, Deer Village of Alexandria Bay. At this time, I am requesting to eliminate one of my 2 water services at Cavalaria Steakhouse. The water line that is located on the first floor by the patio bar door. I propose to cut and cap the existing line to get rid of the feed and return the meter. So he's taking 2 lines that he has, gonna turn it into one. We discussed this already with the water department, and Pat's okay. And are they doing this work themselves?
They do the work themselves, the village has to inspect it and approve it before they can close it.
And then we put the new meter on with the new wiring. So we need a motion on this? Okay, may I have a motion allowing Cavalaria Steakhouse to eliminate 1 water line so that they only have 1 incoming line pending inspection by the water department?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion to approve a budget transfer from clerk to zoning contractual for $7.50. Anybody have any questions on that?
What does that mean?
I want to take $367.50 from my contractual that I have and give it to the zoning contractual because he had a computer crash and had no money in his contractual for the year to purchase one. So, me being the nice clerk I am, said that I would like to move the funds to take care of the rest of his balance.
And the computer is here, been set up by Annie, and
Correct.
all wonderful. Okay, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Here's another one for Molly. We need a motion to a budget transfer from general of $25,000.
So previously, years ago, a few years, I can't say 1 or 2, the town of Alexandria gives for enhancement or improvement. That $25,000 utilized in that same year rolls into the village's general fund for a specific thing, general fund. Pull that back out from the general fund and put it specifically in, which is at this time, the tennis, it's listed under tennis. But it's money to put in towards the new pickleball courts, funding that the village has.
I'll make that motion.
Second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the fireworks permit. Request, I should be reading this first. Request for fireworks display permit, Alexandria Bay Chamber of Commerce, Majestic Fireworks. Date and time, July 4th, 23 at 10 p.m. above Bolt Castle. I don't need to read all of this, do I? So if I camp tickets, students
Free to play free golf. It's pushing our children to be outside, to work outside, and the free golf passes until they're 17 years old. Sorry, excuse me. What the village would like to discuss is we ran into some issues last year. They were given to the taxpayers within the district. There's taxpayers from all over the country, and we need proof of where these kids are coming from. The village and the town, which I did speak to I'm not speaking for the town, but I did speak to someone who represented the town previously. And we would like to do it for Alexandria Central School District. All the kids have, what do they call
School
them?
IDs.
School IDs. We would like to restrict Alexandria Central students. Not saying we don't want to give a golf to anyone. We're just saying it's very, very hard to distinguish where people are coming from.
Does that count homeschooled kids that are local?
Yes. I mean, we can look them up she can look up on her tax program. I can look on my tax program. But last year it was a disaster. We were giving people money back that were from Cortland, Syracuse, all over. It just got very, very confusing for us. So we want it right up front before we start giving these passes out, a guideline.
What about the kids who go into Watertown School? Into Immaculate Heart?
Like to IHC and Faith Fellowship.
They live in the village?
They live in the
No.
district. Not all of them.
They live in the district.
They live in the district. That's what we gotta make a who lives in the district, not the village, but it's the Alexandria
The school
district. School district.
I think is, yeah.
Well, that's what we
Not
would.
that they go to the school, but they live within the school district.
Right. Students in Alexandria Bay School District only. Okay.
Alexandria Central.
Oh, we have Alexander School District only on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion for that?
But what about the IHC kids? Do we have any IHC kids?
If they live within the Alexandria Central School District,
They could get,
even though they bus someplace else,
Okay.
they would still, it sounds to me like they would still be appropriate.
It's fine to me.
right, yep. Okay, so I need a motion on that one.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you want to go over the, these first two other on this list?
Yeah, these are common reasoning. Currently, it is $10 per person for 9 holes, which is comparable to other courses, and $20 per person for 18 holes, which is not comparable. She believes that we will get more people inclined to play 18 holes with this golf cart price drop.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, and your second one?
She'd like to run a $12 special again, which she did this before, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings from 3 to close. The special is $12 per person and includes a cart and 9 holes. Many courses in the area offer specials. When we started offering this last year, it made a difference. On play, we get these nights, because those are their non-league nights. We should not offer this on Thursdays as it's a league night, nor on Mondays, which is the makeup night. Does that make sense to you?
That's true, yeah.
Okay. I needed your ears here, so.
Judy told me I couldn't talk about golf.
Well, you can talk. I give you permission. You can talk all you want.
I think it was pickleball.
Isn't there a Wednesday night you won't?
He got told he couldn't talk golf.
All right, anybody have any questions on that? Okay. You didn't even have to stand up and yell.
Not yet.
No. Oh, man.
You'll get your chance.
Jeez. Okay, we have, last name is Ingraham, that lives on what street in the village, Molly?
No longer lives in the village. They
No
were a
longer
renter.
lives in the village, they were a tenant. We need to authorize a refund of $370.03, due to EDU overcharges. It was one apartment, and they were charged as if they were 2 apartments. So, we have all the paperwork right here. We need the approval to, give them their refund.
I'll make the motion that we refund Ingram's $370.03.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay. Consider forgiving 4,000 overage of sewer charges, 4,000 what? 4,000 gallons?
4,000 gallons, yes.
Gallons.
I averaged out what she generally uses for a 4-month period, and she used overage in it.
Okay, we had overage of sewer charges due to a leak on account. The account number's here, and the water was under the house, and we have photos of that, and I think everybody has that in their package. And we would like to, do we have the amount or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve, forgiving 4,000, and we usually do forgive sewer, if we know the water didn't go into the sewer, and it didn't, so under her house. So I'm glad she found it. So could we have a motion to forgive 4,000 gallons of overage of sewer charges due to a leak on account 100785501?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. CDL class at ACS, are we holding on that? We don't know? Are we,
Yeah,
have
I
we
kn-
canceled it, or?
I don't, someone mentioned today that they heard it was canceled, but I'm not sure if that's, I didn't hear it from.
Kind of like the ice
correct
cream
person.
thing, we have to stop believing all
Yeah,
these
so,
rumors.
rate, so,
They came to Rotary the other night, last week, and made a presentation, and they are as of last Wednesday, they were offering a CDL class, for $2,600 compared to $4,000 at the state. And we have one young man in the DPW who would like to do it. At the state, it's $4,000 for the first course. So I, of course, said to Dell, yes, we want to do this. And I guess by 10 o'clock the next morning, he had already contacted Jarrett. And we were going to suggest that since he can't come up with the money, that he take the course and require him to be a employee of the village for at least 3 years and sign a note that if he leaves, he would pay the money back. So that's something for everybody to think about, but now we don't know if it's, wow. Okay, well, we can.
do you know when the course is gonna be?
No.
It's ongoing all the time, they've got
Is it
people
really?
coming and going, they were out there today, working with people.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it is
we're-
still going, it is
Oh, I
still
have to
happening,
believe
okay.
it's still going.
Alright.
So that's
So
what we'd
they-
like to do. It's $2,600. Is it fair to suggest to Mr. Burrows that, you know, if a young man who is a full-time employee at the DPW now wants to further himself and stay here with us, take this class,
Practice.
right?
Agreement, one thing I'm concerned about is indentured servitude, that we can't force the individual to remain employed here for the 3-year window. It violates the civil service law.
Then how would we recover our,
It basically would be a contractual agreement where if we're fronting it, and as long as he remains gainfully employed here, satisfactorily performing his duties, then it would be satisfied at the end of the 36 months. But that if he should leave before then, you'd have to contractually indicate that he'd have to pay back a proration amount of it, et cetera.
That's
So,
what it says in there.
I called it a note.
Prorated.
You
Yeah,
said it.
that's prorated.
You
Yeah.
said it correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
3 years sounds like a long time.
3 years is
3
too
years.
long.
Say it again?
3 years is too long. That would scare somebody away from
I
doing
mean,
it.
2 years is.
2 years, and let them pay along those 2 years. I mean, it doesn't hurt to.
Yeah, we don't want them to pay. That's part of the union
Well,
contract.
a little bit out of your paycheck.
We
so
do
that
pay
you
for
feel
licenses
like
though.
you've got a little pride of
We
ownership.
do pay for licenses.
Yes, we do pay
for
for
licenses
licenses.
to better
Okay.
yourself, so
But
it's that.
it's that staying,
I know you want somebody to stay, and
I
that's
still
why you
think
want
3
to.
years is too long.
Teachers do this all the time, and they have to stay for 7 years. I mean, a lot of different places around the country, they go into a program like that, and you are contracted for
no, it doesn't. I love.
X amount of years, so this is not an unusual thing.
I discussed it with Jarrett, and he felt 3 years was appropriate.
There's a caveat in there too, that he passes the test.
Yes, yeah. And that's also in the contract. Maybe it's 1,000 a year and prorate the 600.
Well, whatever your contract calls for, I don't.
Okay, so what I need is a motion to allow, basically, we need a motion to allow him or anyone else that we approve that works for the DPW to go to ACS to take this class, because this is new. We never knew about it before, so we need a motion.
You'd have to include all of it though, wouldn't it? I'm just saying, I don't.
How do we do
I
it?
think we gotta table it. Cause it needs to be defined, and you gotta look at it, right?
You could make the motion to approve it contingent upon the village attorney's review of the collective bargaining agreement. We can do that.
We need permission to allow them to go to ACS to take the class. That's what I'm looking for. If we approve that pending attorney's review of the contracts.
Where is he going right now? Is he going?
I guess he would sign up as soon as they would put him in. That's the way I got it. Like I said, the next Dell who runs this program at the school called Jarrett. Jarrett knew before. I would
We're
probably.
gonna have to commit financially also, cause
Right. Yeah.
they can want that
This is
2,600,
the
you
deal.
know what I mean? We have to commit financially also. Contingent, we could say contingent on.
And so this would be available to any of the DPW employees who did not have a CDL
Class
to
B.
be able to
Class
take
B
advantage of
license.
the same.
Right. Because we say in the contract that we will pay for licensing. The only new thing is,
The CDL portion of it says that we're requiring them to take it.
to step further.
Right.
Right. That's why we pay for it, and the only additional thing is to ask them to stay longer if we can. And there's nothing in there, I don't have it with me, but there's nothing in there that says, what if you take the class and you leave next week?
I think
Says prorated, they have to pay that.
prorated.
Okay,
If they leave, they have to pay it. Proration, all depends on how long they're state employed, yeah.
because
That's
right
a-
now,
that
there's
part's there.
certain jobs at the DPW he can't do because
Right,
he doesn't have
right,
that
Maybe,
license. So can we approve the license to attend the class at ACS, which is state approved, contingent upon Mr. Burrow's review of that paragraph in the contract?
So they go take the class and they don't like the contract. Then what do you do?
They've
They have to
already
sign some
approved,
form- They're gonna have to sign some form of a paper.
they've already approved the CSEA contract.
I can't imagine that they just randomly start a new class. When is this class starting?
That I don't know. Do you know any more about it, Dick?
I mean, Lisa's there, she's full-time in the office for this purpose. They're gonna run it through. I mean, they're looking for as many bus drivers as they can, so this is kind of a.
Well, we had, Dell and I had that conversation. We don't want him to go be a bus driver, you know,
Yeah.
and we got past that. Dell and I did. So do you want to table it? Or, my impression from Dell over at the school when we had the meeting was, when we were talking, that if this young man went over there tomorrow, he would probably set him up for next week.
Okay. So he gets his license and in August, boom, he runs. What do we do then?
$2,600
Yeah.
It gets paid back, it's in the
He's gonna have
contract.
to sign.
Can I borrow that a minute, your contract?
You're gonna have to have it signed something. I don't know.
I think you need to research this a little more.
I think so too.
So you're saying there's
I think
no,
it should be tabled.
okay, there's
Yeah.
no certain deadline, or he just takes them and he gets them that quickly
Yeah,
if
we
he
need
can?
more,
All right,
we need
let's
more
table.
information.
You got a lot of questions there.
Okay, we'll table that one, and then we'll work on it. Okay, I have,
Motion to table, please.
can I have a motion to table the, discussion for the CDL class at ACS?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you a yes?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not here.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
not trying to be a pain, but I have concerns about that.
There's too many unanswered questions.
Yeah, not a problem, we'll work on that. Okay, we have the speaker for A-Bay Fire Department addition to the building and make village the lead agency in the project. Okay, I'm going to read all of this. Short environmental assessment form, part 1, instructions, okay. Do I have to read all the instructions or just the lines? I'm just gonna start with part 1.
You probably should read the basic parts of the.
Okay, part 1, project information. The applicant or project sponsor is responsible for the completion completion of Part 1. Responses become part of the application for approval or funding, are subject to public review, and may be subject to further verification. Complete Part 1 based on information currently available. If additional research or investigation would be needed to fully respond to any item, please answer as thoroughly as possible based on current information. Complete all items in Part 1. You may also provide any additional information which you believe will be needed by or useful to the lead agency. Attach additional pages as necessary to supplement any item. Part 1, project and sponsor information. Aaron's Fox addition and alterations. Name of action or project, Aaron's Fox addition and alterations. Project location is 110 Alexandria Bay, New York, 13607. Brief description of proposed action. One-story addition to the Alexandria Bay Fire Department, Alexandria Bay Municipal Building. The addition is 31 feet by 15 feet, 465 square feet to display the Aaron Fox fire truck. The addition is on the Walton Street side of the building and is constructed in the lawn area between the existing building and the existing parking lot. Alterations include those necessary for the addition and a new overhead door in an existing truck bay to provide drive-through capability. The bay is used for ambulance storage. Site work related to the addition and alterations is the roofing and aprons. Name of applicant or sponsor is Mark Reynolds, RA, telephone number 315-3136, email Reynolds, 21 Bethune Street, Alexandria, 13607. Number 1, does the proposed action only involve the legislative adoption of a plan, local law, administrative rule, or regulation? No. Does the proposed action require a permit, approval, or funding from any government agency? If yes, list agency name and permit or approval. It is a yes. Building permit from Jefferson County. Number 3, a total acreage of the site of the proposed action is 4 acres. B, total acreage to be physically disturbed is 0.02 acres. C, total site and any contiguous properties owned or controlled by the applicant or project sponsor is 4 acres. Number 4, check all land uses that occur on, are adjoining, or near the proposed action. Checked are rural, non-agriculture, and residential suburban. Page 2. Is the proposed action A, permitted use under the zoning regulation? Yes. B, consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan? Yes. Is the proposed action consistent with the predominant character of the building or natural landscape? Yes. Number 7, is the site of the proposed action located in or does it adjoin a state-listed critical environmental area? The total village site borders a wetland on the south rear of the building. The actual portion of the site where the addition is being constructed is separated from the wetlands by the building and is more than 100 feet from the rear of the property line. The answer to that was a yes. Number 8, will the proposed action result in a substantial increase in traffic above present levels? No. Are public transportation services available at or near the site of the proposed action? No. C, are any pedestrian accommodations or bicycle routes available on or near the site of the proposed action? No. Number 9, does the proposed action meet or exceed the state energy code requirements? Yes. Will the proposed action connect to an existing public-private water supply? It says, if no, describe method for providing potable water.
There is no water and sewer in the addition, and there are no floor drains in the addition.
Okay, we need to add that. I want to write on this. Number 11, will the proposed action connect to existing wastewater utilities? No, because there is none of that. Okay, fill that in. 12A, does the project site contain or is it substantially contiguous to a building, archaeological site, or district which is listed on the National or State Register of Historic Places, or that has been determined by for archaeological sites on the New York State Historic Preservation Office? Yes. Okay. Would the proposed action physically alter or encroach into any existing wetland or water body? And the answer checked is no. Fourteen, identify the typical habitats that occur on or are likely to be found on the project site. Check all that apply. Checked is wetland and suburban. Number 15, does the site of the proposed action contain any species of animal or associated habitats listed by the state or federal government as threatened or endangered? No is checked. Is the project located in the 100-year floodplain? No is checked. Will the proposed action create stormwater discharge either from point or non-point sources? Yes. If yes, will the stormwater discharges flow to adjacent properties? No. Will stormwater discharges be directed to establish conveyance systems, runoff, and storm drain? And the answer is yes. If yes, please describe. Added stormwater runoff will be related to the added 465 square feet of roof area. This would increase the total roof runoff. Site of the proposed action or an adjoining property in the location of an active or closed solid waste management facility? The answer is no. Has the site of the proposed action or an adjoining property been the subject of remediation, ongoing or completed for hazardous waste? The answer is no. This information is certified by Mark Reynolds, consulting architect on 5/9/23. Did I do all that right?
Perfect.
Okay.
That was exciting.
And I have new allergy medicine given me
I
right
know.
now. Okay, part 2, impact, short environmental assessment form, part 2, impact. So there's a paper here, when do I make us the lead agent?
Yeah, I just want to check it. So Mark, with this, the only other, you identified the county as being an involved agency for issuing
Yes.
a building permit?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is then the village wouldn't go through part 2 tonight. You would consider adopting a resolution to serve as lead agent for purposes of seeker and seeking permission from the county to proceed as lead agent.
Yeah, for building permit.
Yes.
So I don't have to go through part 2?
You would not go through part 2 or part 3 tonight. What happens, so seeker, you gotta take they call a hard environmental look. An involved agency is supposed to be involved in seeker. You're an involved agency because you'd be using your property, you'd fund, approve, or undertake the action. Now, the county is also an involved agency because they'd be issuing a building permit with it, so the county's involved too. So what that means is, we can't proceed with part 2 or 3 on the village board of trustees to serve as lead. You want them, Mark, do you want me to send the letter request to the county, or will you do that?
I'll do that.
You do that, okay. So if you adopt the resolution, then the next step is we hurry up and wait for 30 days. Mark will contact the county. The county is, unless there's something really unusual, the county will look at it for significant countywide issues with this. The county will probably either not respond or will say, yeah, go ahead with it. And then after 30 days have passed, then you can go through part 2 and 3.
Okay, so I need a motion that, Molly, you want to read that?
Sure. To consider a resolution of the village board to serve as lead agency for purposes of the seeker part.
For purposes of the environmental review under seeker, relating to the annex, the Aaron's, Fox addition and alterations.
Okay.
So that's the motion we need for today?
Correct.
Do you want her to read it again?
No.
Thanks, I'm gonna listen to it about 10 times on that tape,
I
so.
actually fully understand that.
Are you making the motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion, I do get it.
I'll second it.
All in
Thank you.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Let's do that one.
Okay, we need to approve a transfer from A-Bay Fire Department equipment to A-Bay Fire Department equipment repairs for $8,659.84. And you want that moved just because it's in the wrong place,
It's in the wrong bucket, as we call it.
okay?
I'll make that motion.
100-foot pickleball total,
Riverside took down the December 16th.
I think that's too long based on the cold weather, that's why we
They
take it.
crack and break, that's why they wanted them down last year.
You know, well, I can't wait to see them take them out of storage and see how they come out.
Well, wasn't this our second year? This is our first, well,
When they come
I
out
don't
of
think so,
storage,
I don't
two
know.
things happen, because I did boat canvas after I retired. Two things happen.
oh, wait, they were up last summer. So
Yes, they were up last
They
Put
were
them
up
up,
in
and
summer.
this will be our first, we're putting them out, okay. But I'm told they have to come down before the weather gets really cold.
You know, it's funny, look at any marina and look at the canvas on boats and tell me whether or not a lot of the isinglass is taken down. It's not.
I think they were more concerned of vandalism and damage.
Vandalism could be the issue,
Yeah, I think that was part of it.
which
we
is
have
sad,
issues.
because the reality is they should be up, they should be left up, and that facility, right through fall and winter, becomes more usable. It's not usable with a north wind, period, end of sentence. We could house hundreds of kids in there in the pouring rain if those curtains were up. And Santa comes across from the castle, the vision, everything works out really good. We'd like to have it at the pavilion. We're taking a big chance at having a total washout some year with hundreds of kids downtown and we have a rainstorm. So the whole thing is leave the curtains up a little longer. I mean, frankly, we've played the weather game. Winter doesn't seem to hit that early and we could get all kinds of help taking them down. I frankly don't think they should be taken down, rolled up, and put away where the mice generally will go and nest, and I can't wait to see how they come out of storage.
Us too, but we can't, we'll have to table this till we talk to the DPW.
I know. We want to float it by you. I understand the concern of broken, glass, quote unquote, during the winter due to vandalism, which is sad, but I don't know, maybe people would respect it.
You should see how they climb over the buildings down at the park. The building that the dock or lifeguards and the park attendants put their stuff in.
Yeah.
The kids climb all over that, hang from the light pole. It's not free of
I understand.
bad activity down there. I mean, we closed the gate to Casino Island for kind of that same reason, because it would get crazy after a certain point out there when there's nobody on
Oh, I know.
watching it.
Oh, I know. I mean, that, you know.
I mean, I think the picnic tables we put out there aren't they in the ground? Or the benches, some of them are, but there's, there used to be pots out there, and they get tossed, flowers, they get tossed in the river. So I understand where you're going, I think that's a DPW supervisor question. And see how they feel about and they only take them down because wherever we got them from recommended taking them down, is what I was told.
I think,
So.
and I'm just gonna pitch this because I did do marine canvas with good old Bob when I retired. And the damage caused by taking them down, rolling them up, putting them away annually, they will be in worse shape than if they were just left up.
Well, it may be, and maybe we'll learn.
With the risk of people doing bad
Right.
things. When people do bad things, you take them down and you sew in a new piece of glass. It's actually easy
Okay,
to replace the glass.
we'll look into it for next meeting. Public concern. Ladies, no? So, we're adjourning, right? So we could,
Up to the pleasure of the board.
right, we're adjourning this meeting until we can have another one. one, and that is for the, water withdrawal permit resolution. Do you wanna do it today if we
Or
wait?
can we go into executive session for that?
Well, no, that would be discussed in open session.
Okay. So, do you wanna do it tonight, or do you wanna come back another day?
How long is it?
And it's just the one, right?
Yeah, it's one resolution with the,
Towns of Alexandria and Teresa.
And it's been approved the village.
yeah, this is the amendment. This is the amendment.
We have to figure out a better way of everybody getting it.
That's the approved.
No, did you see So Molly, we have to figure out a better way to do this because neither one of them saw this.
You know, what I did was, I don't know, was it a week ago, and I emailed it or whatever. What I should do though is I should email to every board member at that time, and so that's my fault. I can make sure I have the email addresses, I can email the board.
Okay, yeah, it would have made it, yeah, and we all have village email addresses. You're good with that, Molly?
So that's on me, I'll get the email addresses.
Resolution between the town of Alexandria and Teresa.
And Teresa, it's not, and it's not the town of Alexandria Bay too?
It's an amendment, what we've got is, you've got the resolution to approve the intermunicipal agreement with the town of Alexandria and Teresa. So that's the name of that, so we're just approving an amendment to it. What the amendment does is the amendment says we're included as a party to it.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Is that passed? Now we have nothing else that we need to work on, Molly?
I have to do a roll call. So
Okay.
Jarvis is not here. Deputy Mayor Fulmer was a yes.
Yes.
Senator Caputo, or Trustee Caputo is a yes. And Trustee Demo is a yes. Yep. So I can date it today, and I'll do the paper correct tomorrow and email it over.
Now, so just wanna make sure everybody's aware, technically, if the town of Alexandria says, well, wait a minute, we wanna change X, Y, and Z, there could be some ministerial adjustments, perhaps, same thing with the town of Teresa. So we're keep moving forward on that, but there's still little twists and turns in the process.
I know, since 2014. I have that. Thank you.
So all the other copies of all this stuff was just our general, what we've already proposed, correct?
No, what my email did was, it indicated that these were other steps that were going on in parallel.
Yeah, all at the same time.
Okay.
To make this all
Because I pulled them all
together.
off thinking I needed to do them all tonight.
So
Okay,
we're just
got it.
doing the one.
And so, and
Okay.
if you think of all of it, kind of the ringleader with this is gonna be our engineer. So when we make progress on it, I contact Gregor and make sure he's got the documents, because he's actually the one that submits the application for the amendment and everything. So I kind of spoon feed him as we go along with the process.
Right, and Gregor stays on top of it because he's worried about getting the permits we need.
I would ask that you review that, and I'll ask the mayor to make sure that I'm actually.
Molly, are you finished?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, I am.
Motion to adjourn?
Could we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye.
Your phone is ringing.
Okay.
Seven,
Meeting adjourned.
And I apologize. The reason I wanted to see it was because I know Kim and I have been working together to change some of the things
Point
in
well
the
taken.
billing and that stuff, and I was just like, wait a minute, I don't want to do rebuilding.
Point well
And
taken.
that's why I was like, no. Any of the stuff that was going on, you know
Point
what I
well
mean?
taken. What I'll do is in the future, with things like this, I get it, it's not fair to be ambushed like that. I'll make sure I email everybody and make it simpler.
Thank you, thank you.